Oh my gosh, what generation is Basculin from? Oh jeez! What generation is Pancham from? Why not Gen 3 or 4? Is it 3 or is it 4? Ah! We all have been duped by our own brains before, so I thought, why not make another discussion video? So I asked my Twitter followers, which you can join at Lockstin, what's a Pokemon that you constantly think is from the wrong generation? Personally, I've mistakenly thought Diggersby is 5th gen more times than I can remember. And that's true. Diggersby is one of my nemesis Pokemon. I will always think, yeah, that's Gen 5. I mean, look at it. It just looks like a Gen 5. It screams Gen 5. From its stupid face to its dumb inspirations, Gen 5. I guess I just think Gen 5 is dumb. Even though Gen 5 has most of my favorite designs and has my favorite games to this day. What gen is Diggersby even though? 6, right? Yeah, I had to look it up if I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, 6th gen. And you know what else I forget about often? Hippopotas. It's Gen 5, right? No. Again, it just looks dumb. Like, it actually looks dumb. Like, its design is cute. It just looks actually dumb. Like Patrick Star. It's dumb. So I think it's from Gen 5. I guess. But nope. It's Gen 4. Then Walrein. I distinctly remember Walrein being Gen 4, but no, it's 3. What the heck? And like, wait, Spheal. Spheal is Gen 3. I know that. If you ask me what generation is Spheal, I'll say, oh, it's Gen 3. I had one in Emerald. And then you ask me specifically about Walrein, like, oh, what generation is Walrein? Oh, it's Gen 4. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever been watching a pleasant, mostly family-friendly video on YouTube about Pokémon or something, and then the YouTuber cuts away to a slightly different angle and tells you that you should shave your balls with today's sponsor, the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer? No. That's never happened to you? Well then boy do I have a treat for you. It's the all-new Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. Now featuring a travel lock, new trimmer guard options to trim at your preferred length, a two-toned black finish with a new hot foil logo, and a battery that charges wirelessly with electromagnetic induction that enhances performance. All on top of the already amazing skin-safe technology integrated with the easily replaceable ceramic blades which greatly reduce nicks and cuts. This ballsy trimmer makes a great gift for you or the man in your life, so if you're interested in a special trim, then be sure to use my link below and the coupon code LOCKSTIN20 to get 20% off. Your balls will thank you. Maybe I just think that they added its evolution like they added a lot of the other evolutions in Gen 4. Could be. But funnily enough, it's not all that hard to figure out why we think wrong. So let's go into some of your fallacies. Let's see what you had to say. A lot of the replies were about Azumarill, like this one. For most of my life, I thought Azumarill was Gen 3 because that's where I first saw it. This. Don't worry, that's not the whole response. I honestly feel like most people have this as their failed reasoning, but it makes sense. You're a kid, you see a Pokemon in the game, so that's the game you have, and you didn't play the previous games mainly, so you don't know any better, you think it's from that game. Plus, it doesn't help that Gen 3 is when they added its baby form, Azurill. So they would heavily use that line for sure. And I'm sure that this is true for a lot of the Pokemon. Another super common one I got loads of replies about was Skarmory. And while I can't show you all of the tweets, here are a few. Not as much anymore, but I used to think Slugma and Skarmory are Gen 3. I know Skarmory is a Gen 2, but it feels like Gen 3. Sapphire was my first main series game. Skarmory and Slugma really, and Mech Spiral sorta hits this on the head. Slugma always felt like a Hoenmon for me, probably because I can't recall anyone in Johto using it, and associate it with Flannery. Skarmory, Slugma, and Natu were all Gen 2 Pokemon people associated with Gen 3 more so, and I think it could be because they are mainly late game Pokemon and or are rare, so easily missed, or are only encountered once or twice and then you forget about them. Plus, on top of that, Skarmory was only in Pokemon Silver. You would never see it in the wild while playing Gold. So that cuts the people who could have even seen one down by half. Assuming even distribution of game carts, but come on. Everyone bought Gold if they knew what they were doing. It's the better one. I've played Silver. And on top of that, again, Skarmory only has a 5% spawn rate on one route that you can just zip through. It's just like freaking original Pikachu. And to boot, Skarmory isn't all that big in the game itself. Also, as Izan points out, some Gen 2 Pokemon didn't even appear in Johto, or were really late in the region, so it's understandable. Skarmory is more prominent in Hoenn. Heck yeah it is! Even Jasmine, the Steel-type leader in Gen 2, doesn't have it originally. Yet in Gen 3, you get physically assaulted by them every second of the day. Then also consider Houndour. You could only get Houndoom and Houndour in Kanto after you beat the League once. Let that sink in. They are the poster children for Johto Dark types, and you can only catch them in Kanto once you unlock the post-game. Yeah, what the heck? Dark and Steel were the two new types. You'd think they would be really pushing the new Steel and Dark type Pokemon. But no, this genre of forgetfulness was definitely the most common. A Pokemon was rare or exclusive in its introductory game, and became more common and used in the next game. But there are other reasons too. Lucario, I always thought he was from Gen 3, and you are definitely not alone there. Lucario was extremely prominent during the previous generation, not game-wise, but anime-wise. This was, and still is, a super common misconception. Lucario was in a movie that came out during Gen 3, so you'd think Gen 3, but nope, it's Gen 4. Munchlax shares the same fate, as it played a major part in the Gen 3 anime. And plenty have thought that Togepi was first gen because of the show too. I mean, it was before we even knew what Pokemon generations were. And so, Togepi was just some new baby Pokemon that wasn't in the game. And speaking of baby Pokemon, Azurill and Wynaut being Gen 3 throws Silver Slasher off every time. And at Poltergeist FGC often forgets that Azurill and Wynaut were actually added in Gen 3, tending to think they are from Gen 4. And the conclusion made, I think, is perfect. It's mostly because Gen 3 isn't really known for its baby Pokemon, but Gen 2 and 4 introduces several each. But these two baby Pokemon are just two random baby Pokemon added in Gen 3, so you probably assume it's not Gen 3. For sure, that's the reason. Heracross! I always think it's first gen. Two reasons that I can see that here. Heracross is sort of just Pinsir, but different, right? Similar ideas at play. They seem like they could be really good rivals with each other, so like obviously they would be introduced at the same time, yeah? Plus, the overall aesthetics of Gen 1 and 2 designs are pretty similar, though they have some differences, and Heracross just fits more so into Gen 1s. All generations sort of bleed together a bit as the art's direction changes. And I do feel like Heracross is definitely a little more Gen 1 than it is Gen 2 or 3. But speaking of design and aesthetic, Magearna is my big one. I always think it's a Kalos Pokemon until I remember, probably because it looks like a metallic Diancie. For sure. Plus Gen 7 was very tropical, and Gen 6 was very European. And Magearna, despite being from the tropical generation, is extremely European. This is also likely why plenty of people will forget what generation a Pokemon is from, because they don't feel right. Like, it may be hard to quantify or to put in words, but your gut just tells you something is right or wrong, even if your brain knows better. Like with Horsey, it feels like a Gen 2, or always thinking Tangela is from Gen 2, or feeling like Shinx is Gen 3 when it's actually Gen 4. It could be their design choices or just their relative regions that they would probably fit better in. Horsey is probably because of Kingdra and the whole Kanto-Johto mix thing going on. Then Tangela is so forgettable and basic that it totally could be a Gen 2 Pokemon. Gen 2 did also seem to have more cute and round squishy things, like Tangela. And then Shinx. I got nothing there. Lynx live in cold places like Sinnoh. Ooh, could it be the sprite art of Shinx specifically? Come to think of it, the original Shinx sprite is kinda plain. It looks simpler than most of the other sprites, and simpler in your brain could make you think it's like a GBA sprite. So it's from Gen 3 instead of Gen 4, GBA instead of DS. It's a theory. I always accidentally think Garbodor and Trubbish is Gen 4. I haven't a clue why, it just feels Gen 4 to me. Well, you could say all Gen 4 designs are trash. Gasp! What a revolutionary idea. Welcome to the Pokémon fan club. But perhaps this is also a matter of sprite work and design aesthetic. I'm not sure on this one, though I know I have a lot of trouble, mainly with the middling gens. Because, you know, it's easy to remember the Pokémon of your childhood, which in my case was Gen 1, 2, and 3, as well as remembering the more recent generations. But then that middle section, they're starting to become so mini-mon that it starts to kind of become a blur. And this is where remakes are going to be good, because it's helpful. I'm going to not have these problems with Gen 4 Pokemon leaving my brain once the remakes finally release. Nice. And then we have art. I keep thinking Skarmory and Absol are from Gen 3.
Absol is Gen 3.
Wait, what? I thought he was Gen 2! But I mean, I get you. I understand the confusion. It do be like that. Are you confused? What Pokemon do you frequently forget the gen it belongs to? And I hope this video has alleviated your fears of being weird or singled out for not being a walking Pokemon encyclopedia. And if you forget about Skarmory's gen in particular, at this point, I feel like that makes you normal. Like, almost half of the comments were about Skarmory. Well then, comment, like, subscribe. This video is basically a vlog. Should I do more? Let me know down below, or on Twitter. And until next time, never stop using your noggin.